Hey guys, Seaman235 back with another video, and I know it's been a while since I uploaded anything significant. I do have stuff ready to upload, but I haven't had much time to record. I've already said this in my update video, so I'm not gonna go over too much of it here. Just see the update video. Because I was sick last week, and this week is gonna be hectic a bit. Anyway, but I figured it's been a while since I made an impressions video. And I think the last one I did was the Smash demo, and that was months ago. So I did do the 2014 in-year review. I did that, but I don't really count that as an impressions video. I just count that more as like sort of a retrospective of what I thought of some of the stuff that I've seen over the year or played, depending on if it was a video game or a movie or not. With that said, this is my impressions on the first two episodes of Transformers Robots in Disguise, the sequel to Transformers Prime. I'll get into what I liked and disliked overall, but the story for this is pretty basic. Cybertron has become a really, really nice place. There are Transformers everywhere. Life's pretty much is going back to the way it was back before the war started with the Autobots and the Decepticons, and Bumblebee is now a street cop, and he is working with a new partner known as Strong Arm, a female Autobot, because we need to have a female Autobot in there somewhere. After taking down Sideswipe, some guy. After seeing a vision of Optimus Prime, he goes to the museum and finds a teleporter because, coincidence, there just happens to be a teleporter there. Optimus Prime tells Bumblebee via vision that he has to go back to Earth because reasons. We don't really get many of them. So Bumblebee goes back to Earth. However, he is followed by Strong Arm and Sideswipe because Strong Arm and Sideswipe were cuffed to each other, and Sideswipe had no choice but to follow, and Strong Arm followed because it was apparently protocol. She's all about protocol in this, which is she's one of those characters. Bumblebee, Sideswipe, and Strong Arm later meet two humans. One is a kid, and one is the father of said kid. He's a total gearhead. He collects a bunch of junk, so he has OCD, I guess. And the kid, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really remember much from these two. I mean, I know it's just the pilot. We're probably gonna get more story explanation eventually, but still, these two are bland. These two are really bland. I don't know anything about them. The only thing that this kid really doesn't have much of a personality outside of, I guess he's embarrassed by his dad, and he tries to act cool, and not childish. He tries to act older than he actually is, I guess. He's one of those kids. But he has a good heart. He's just kind of bland. Anyway, on to the rest of the plot. They also come across a Minicon who was transporting two prisoners. One of them was Grimlock, because that's his name. He's Grimlock, and he's a Decepticon for some reason, which I don't remember Grimlock ever being a Decepticon, but whatever. He was a Decepticon, I guess, and he joined Bumblebee's team by the end of it, because he helped them in the episode. With that said, there's another Decepticon that eats metal and gets stronger, but if he doesn't eat enough metal, then he's gonna eventually wear out. And he finds a city, and he needs to be stopped before the city is eaten, and while also keeping their disguises. So, that's generally the plot of the pilot. So, with that said, what did I think of this? It was good, not great. I have a few issues with it. But I just didn't start off with the good. For one thing, Bumblebee is really good in the show. I really liked Bumblebee in Transformers Prime at the end. Well, you know, obviously, like at the last moments, we didn't really get much on him. But I'm talking more about Predacons Rising, because Bumblebee really became much more of a leader in that one, and I really liked him in Prime. He really stepped up his game, and it showed how overall, like during the course of the series, how much he matured. So yeah, Bumblebee's great, and he's voiced by Will Freddy, the guy who does Terry McGinnis, who did Terry McGinnis, I should say, in Batman Beyond, and Lino in the new Thundercats. Got canceled. Whatever. Yeah, so he's a great voice actor. He's the same voice actor who voiced him in Prime and Predacons Rising, so that's cool that they kept him. But then they kept Peter Cullen too as Optimus. He is Optimus at this point. Anyway, in terms of like the rest of the good stuff, the voice acting in general is pretty good overall. No voices really got on my nerves. You know, not even the you know, more comedic characters. Like Grimlock is supposed to be the strong but stupid one, and I hate that archetype. But it isn't so bad here, not yet anyway. It might get more annoying later on, but they didn't overuse it too much in this, so you know, just don't overuse it and I'll be fine. God, Sonic Boom's Knuckles was terrible. Anyway, with that said, none of the characters got on my nerves, and that's a good thing. The voice acting overall was pretty good. The interaction with the characters was pretty good. They have a few funny lines here and there, but I did have a problem with some of the humor. Some of it was good, like I said, but some of it can be really silly. Like, especially like at the end, Grimlock is, Bumblebee says Grimlock is on probation, in other words, meaning that Bumblebee wants to use him and wants him to be on the team. And Grimlock, like, grabs the other Transformers and is like, I'm on probation, or something like that. And it was just like, you're being silly now, I'm sorry, that's just way too silly. There are a couple other moments, but overall, the humor was okay. Not great, but okay. One thing I did notice is that the series is a bit more lighthearted than Prime. Granted, it's the pilot, so it could get darker. Not saying it couldn't, but it definitely has a more lighthearted feel to it than you know, Transformers Prime. Because Transformers Prime can be really dark when it wanted to be, and cause, you know, it might as well have shown Transformers gore because, you know, the Energon, it might as well be blood. Blah, 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 blah. I kind of expected that because Cartoon Network, they aren't gonna want that for Transformers, not on their channel. I don't really mind it so much, you know, you know, because the, you know, Transformers gore wasn't the reason why I liked Transformers Prime. I liked it for the stories and the characters and the interaction and, you know, all that good stuff. It's a pretty basic pilot. It introduces the characters. Not all of them are introduced well. Like I already said, the human characters are kind of bland. Sideswipe is pretty... He's really introduced badly. He's just kind of thrown in there by the end of it, you know. Strong Arm, at the very least, you know... We don't really get much insight on any of the new characters, really, and that's kind of my biggest problem, because these are brand new characters. These weren't in Prime. All these are new characters. So, you know, the only one I really care about is Bumblebee, at least for right now. And I know it's the pilot, but still, even pilots, other pilots have been able to introduce their characters. You know, take something like Young Justice or Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Yeah, we didn't get as much insight as we would as the series would continue, but we at the very least, you know, we at the very least got to know what these characters are like, at least a little bit. You know, we at least got a decent introduction for shows like that. Heck, even Transformers Prime did a better job with that. Transformers Prime, you know, had the micro episodes. You know, okay, there weren't micro episodes. They were like it's a mini season pretty much that focused on a 5-part story arc, and that's how we got introduced to the characters. You know, that's how we got introduced to Jack Darby, and that's how we got introduced to Miko and Raphael. And that's how we got introduced to the other Transformers that were there, you know, Team Prime. The only exception being Cliffjumper, who just dies for... You know, I know they're two very different series, they're going to be two very different series, but still, introduce your characters better. Because we don't know much of anything about them, other than, you know, maybe some minor personality traits. But other than that, they're more just stereotypes at this point. At the same time, the animation could have used a little bit of work. The animation is good for the most part, but the art style I'm not too big on. It's kind of a mix of Tron Uprising, if you ever seen that show, which was canceled, and I'm still pissed off about that, but whatever. It's kind of a mix of that and Prime style blended into one, and it doesn't mesh. It just doesn't mesh to me. Like, the styles just kind of clash. So, I wasn't a huge fan of the animation, and I generally don't mind CG, but, you know, I like CG most of the time when it's done really well, but this... no. Another disappointment, and this is a minor thing, but I really would have liked to see more of Cybertron. I mean, you know, by the end of Predacons Rising, like, you know, when you go from Predacons Rising to this, you see cities, bunch of Transformers, and everything, and you get to see this whole, you know, a little bit of the world, and we don't go on it, and we aren't on it for that much. We aren't on it for, like, at all. You know, why can't we see Cybertron? Where's Bulkhead? Where's RC? Where's Ratchet? You know, I can understand if, you know, I can understand if, you know, we're not going to see them as much in the series, but, you know, a cameo would have been nice. You know, why can't we explore more Cybertron, at least for a little bit? We were only on there for, like, the first maybe 3 to 5 minutes of the episode, of the first part, and that's about it. We aren't on Cybertron any more than that. And just, you know, in Transformers Prime, Cybertron was revived. I would have liked if we got to see more of the world. I'm sure we'll get to see more of it as the series continues again, but still, I would have liked to see more of it before we just headed off and went to Earth. So that was kind of disappointing. Other than that, though, it's an okay beginning. It's an okay start. Not a great one. I have my issues with it. But, you know, it's the beginning of the series. I'm still going to keep my hopes up. And, it's not like this was outright bad. This was actually, you know, this was better than I expected. Because when I saw some of the clips of it, I was like, I don't know about this. But it you know, it has some good stuff about it. And I'll see, I'm going to keep watching it. And see how it goes. Because I'm sure it's only going to get better and better. I guess one more thing I would hope for is to see any of the humans, like Jack, Raphael, and Miko again. I don't know how many years it's been. I don't know if they're dead or not. I hope they aren't. But they should be at least adults by now. So I would like to see if maybe we could see what they're doing now, like where their lives are taking them. Especially Raph, because Bumblebee was closest to Raph, so it would make more sense if he was in it. But we'll see. We'll have to see. You know, I'm not asking him to be a main character. I just want him to be like in one episode as a character for that one episode, and maybe appear later on in the series. But still, it would be nice to see some of the returning characters. You know, because in something like Legend of Korra, which is another show that's like a sequel, but has completely different characters and completely different stories. You know, we got to see Toph in her older self. We got to see Zuko. We got to see Katara. And we even got to see Aang as a spirit, because, you know, Aang is dead. So we got to see all those characters. Surprisingly no Sokka, even though I know he's dead, but surprisingly no Sokka at all. And we got to see Iroh, too. We got to see what happened to Iroh. So I would like it if Transformers Robots in Disguise does the same thing. Just because I would like to see those characters and see where they are now. Because it wouldn't make sense for them to just forget about this. You know, I know Cybertronians stopped visiting the planet a while ago, but still, there's no way they would forget about this. No. So, hopefully we'll see them, you know, for maybe 1 or 2 episodes. I hope we do anyway. And that's pretty much all I have to say. This was a pretty good pilot. Not great, again, I have my issues with it, but still, I'm looking forward to seeing where the show goes. I'm at least... Sorry, I cut off there, but this is going to be quick. I'm going to keep my... I'm going to be optimistic with this and see where it goes. So with that said, I'm the C-Man235, signing out.